Marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa. Call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
And knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with four-time SEC champion and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC.
And welcome into this Thursday edition, scrimmage number 1 edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. You guys see it on the stream title. You guys see it on the thumbnail. It is officially scrimmage number 1 today, which I know you guys are like, man, Christian, you said you're going to try to head up there for the scrimmage. Well, I am. I'm getting ready to do that in a few short minutes. They keep throwing the schedule off, Reed, and I'm almost convinced, man. They're trying to deter Christian Miller from seeing practices and the scrimmages. They keep throwing all these changes in the schedule. I'm totally kidding. But they did actually move the scrimmage back like, I don't know, I guess it'd be maybe like an hour and a half. It's going to start at 11:30. I got the email yesterday. Central time, exactly. Central time. Everybody pretty much here, yes. I was on Central time, but you're right. We have some East Coasters. So it does start here in about 20 minutes, which I'm going to leave here shortly. And yes, I will be a little, I guess, late to the scrimmage, but don't worry. You guys got to remember the first 30 minutes are stretch, indie, all that stuff. So I'll be in attendance. I know you guys, Dwight's tagging me this morning. I hope you got to go to the scrimmage. I'm like, brother, it's 10 o'clock and then nobody's done anything. These guys haven't even put the pads on. Relax. I'll go check it out. Of course, because I'm excited to do so, but I know you guys want me to do it so bad. So we're going to do it. And thankfully we got the pastor of Payne on here early where he's going to be rolling and running the ship today alongside Reed, who is behind the glass. Of course, my dad's done radio for 25 years, and you guys know he's totally fine. Now, Reed can kind of help guide him with some of the latest things happening here in Tuscaloosa. So we'll be good, and it's going to be exciting. Of course, today is Thursday, which means we also have guests lined up. So we will have Brandon Clear joining us at 11:30. And you guys know that's always a fun conversation, especially when we got the whole crew on here. So we'll hear from Brandon Clear in about 20 minutes or so. He definitely will have his thoughts on scrimmage number 1, of course, at least the things he wants to see. And then at the top of the hour, we will be joined by our official lawyer in representation here on the show, who I'm telling you guys right now, he is the man. He has helped me, my dad, you name it, he's got you covered. So make sure you guys check them out. lamperlo-law.com is the website. Free consultation. You can go schedule that right there, quick and easy. Talk with Adam, his team, find out how they can help you, whether that's criminal defense matters. Hopefully you're not in that situation, but it happens. Academic misconduct, NIL, we know that's a big one. And or if you're Jaden Daniels and you're trying to sue your former school for giving another player your number because you feel like there's unfair treatment, maybe he needs to call Adam Lamparello. Make sure you guys do that. Plus, if you need some help with academic and career planning, high school, college, or graduate students, you name it, the list goes on. They've got you covered. And even more important, they do it at an affordable price, especially for Alabama fans. You guys heard Adam. He will take care of you. So make sure you guys check them out. Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy, the official representation.
Jaden Daniels has given me some great ideas. I'm all about ideas, right? Fresh ideas. I like them to come from the Lord. Download them, Lord, in me. Download them in my spirit. But whoever his lawyer is, I'm like, who's wearing my number at South Carolina right now? Because you know what I mean? Because I need to get I need to get paid for that.
Please.
Right? Because I made that number. I made that number famous here in Columbia, South Carolina. And all I'm saying, I need to figure out, me and Adam going to figure out how I can get paid. Now, if he's terrible, for sure. Because if he's terrible and he's wearing my number, he's taking away from what I built. So that's going to be even more money.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get something clear, man. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but we're talking about a guy that won a Heisman Trophy there at the University of Louisiana State University, right? I'm just saying. Now, that said, since you brought it up real quick.
So you're trying to say he's bigger than I am. He's more famous than I am. He got more street cred than I have. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm saying, though, I mean, if you're talking about retiring numbers or somebody having a problem.
My game.
I'm not belittling anything. I'm just saying, I mean, like, winning a Heisman Trophy and Well, yeah, they didn't win anything that year. Joe Burrow won the Heisman and went undefeated and did all those things there. But I was reading up on it. Now I did see that they only have one number that's truly retired. They've retired numbers, but the only one that truly can't be worn again is the number 20. The other ones that are retired, they still are in use. So I'll be honest with you. I hate it for Jaden Daniels. Listen, let me just say this. I hate it for him because all the great stuff that he built there with his teammates.
1 year.
1 year, yeah, he transferred from Arizona State. But
1 year, 2 years. 2 years. It
don't matter. 1 or 2 years, he's still, the relationships he developed, I mean, his legacy there, you're risking throwing that away just because they gave another guy your number and they promised this guy the number out of high school. Initially, they didn't give it to him. Lane Kiffin gets there. He's saying, hey, they promised the kid the number. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here, bro? I think it's a bad look.
I remember our good friend who you know very well, my great friend and my teammate, Sterling Sharp. His number is retired to South Carolina. The number, Dose, 2.
Yep.
And I remember Alshon Jeffrey, who Alabama fans, you're very familiar with Alshon Jeffrey because he's torched y'all back in 2010.
Come see, you're getting off on the wrong foot, man. You lost the show today. Come on, man.
My point is, he wanted to wear Sterling's number. And Sterling just said, no. Nah, bro. I don't care what you promised. I don't care what your ranking is. I don't care. You're not wearing my number. And so I get it. It means something when, especially I don't have my number retired there, but I do have my number retired 33 in high school, for sure. You can't wear that number. It's done. But that's a special thing. To get your number retired, bro, I don't care what level.
Listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If that's something that's offered, I'm all for it. If that's what the school wants to do. But also understand, brother, we're trying to recruit good players. If we retire every number that it's a popular number, 5, 9, 20. I mean, bro, at some point, people have to be able to wear it. So I don't mind what they do when they retire the number. They probably hang it up somewhere, but still maybe let guys wear it. I'm sorry, man. I just don't think it's that deep.
Everybody, they got to be more meticulous.
Right.
Before retiring people's numbers. I mean, I get it. Like,
can't overdo it.
They got to be extremely special. I mean, you got to just blow the doors off. Not for, and I like Jaden Daniels, but bro, you weren't even, you were a pickup on side of the road. You a puppy that was running loose on side of the road. LSU brought you in from the West Coast. You didn't sign there initially. That to me should be somebody that has been there from the beginning.
I mean, neither did Joe Burrow. He's Ohio State.
It don't matter. Either somebody that has signed with them, been there 4 years, tore it up. They are Crimson Tide guy, or they're a Bayou Bengal. They're a Gamecock for life. Everybody, not somebody that comes in there and takes and be a part of a team that they already built up and they just kind of was an added piece. Nah, bro, you ain't get no kind of love like that. You need to take this cup right here. Sit your tail down somewhere and go. You making all this money in the league. You need to worry about getting yourself healthy because you had a sophomore slump. So take a cup of this, sit your tail down. You don't need. I'm telling you, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous, man.
It is.
Sorry.
It is pointless.
It's called greed. It's called greed.
It is. It's selfishness, ego, and that's what I was saying. Even when it comes to just retiring numbers, if the school wants to honor you and do that, so be it. But for you to be currently playing in the National Football League and to file a cease and desist or whatever it was, a lawsuit with your former school that provided you with a lot of resources to help you get where you are currently at. Granted, he had to put all the work in. I'm not saying the school did it for him, but let's just be honest here, right? Like you said, he transferred there, and it was a mutual beneficial relationship, right? So I don't know. To me,
they gave you a chance and put you on that big stage,
called the that SEC, he didn't have at his former school.
That you wouldn't have had at Arizona State, wherever you was at. So come on, bro. Stop all this fool. The guys are they're greedy. You're making all this money. I mean, move on, man. Like I don't like that at all. I was joking about my number, but my thing is these guys are so daggum greedy. It drives me nuts.
It's bad.
That's what's wrong with football today, folks. That's what's wrong with the state of college football. That's what's wrong with professional football.
I agree 100%. All right, we got to hit a timeout. And when we come back, I think I got a few more minutes. I'll hang on here just to make sure everything's still moving smoothly. Again, I will be heading up to – can I speak, man? God, Lee, God.
Go get ready. Go to the
brother, I will, but are you over here talking about Jay and Daniels and all that for 20 minutes? Brother, we got to talk about the scrimmage. You're going to make people leave. You got to get to talking about what the people want to hear about. Yes, they will. Trust me.
They got to get your popcorn ready. We get ready to ride.
Yes, we will be talking scrimmage number 1. When we come back, we'll preview some of the things that I'll be looking for when I head up there again. It starts at 11:30. That's when they start. Now, they won't actually really get to scrimmage and pride till closer to 12. So I'll call in. I'll be on the phone lines. Brandon Clear will be joining us at 11:30. Adam at the top of the hour. We're going to be talking Alabama football and scrimmage number 1 all day today. And with you guys, 205-342-9904. The Pastor Payne would love to take y'all's phone calls and get y'all's thoughts on Alabama about a week through fall camp as they have their first scrimmage of
Summer event is happening now at Townsend Honda, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
For well-qualified buyers with approval from Honda Financial Services. Offer ends September 8, 2026.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393.
Just go to US Mobile subreddit. Just search for US Mobile and make a decision for yourself. If you're ready, visit usmobile.com.
Consumer Reports does not endorse products or services.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Dangerous heat expected to stay with us here right on into next week. Heat advisory in place. Sunshine, 98 this afternoon. Scorching heat, feeling like 110 with a heat index. Tonight, partly cloudy, sticky 78. Friday, sunny, even hotter. Highs near 100. Saturday, 101 with sunshine. We hit 102 Sunday and Monday. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 92 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Alabama fans are all over the world, and we are too. Download the Tide 100.9 app right now in the App Store and Google Play, and take the Crimson Tide everywhere you go.
Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Hey, everybody in the chat likes Miller Mafia, man. So that might be the new, y'all might have just cracked the code. We've been trying to figure out a term for our family here, man. And sounds like we kind of got one that might stick. We'll use it for a little bit and see.
Christian, a Rolex wearing Miller. Hey, you got a Rolex, dog?
I do not. No, I ain't got money like you, brother. I ain't got money like you.
Now, somebody in the chat call you Rolex Miller.
Yeah, that Master of Daytona always jokes about that, but I don't have a Rolex. Man.
I'm more like Timex.
Nah, I like to invest in real estate, but Rolex is not yet. Someday, you guys keep dropping some super chats, man. I'll get us all a Rolex. Yeah, I wear an Apple Watch. I'm an Apple Watch guy.
I don't have plenty of those.
Miller Mafia needs a hat. All right. That's it. Scrimmage number 1 kicks off in about 7 minutes. I'm about to leave the Lambrella Law Studios and head that way. We got the Pastor Payne going to be holding it down. We got Brandon Clear joining us in about 7 minutes or so. We're going to talk about that. But before I head out of here, I just wanted to drop a few things that I think for a preview, right? Kind of what to expect or what we're looking forward to. At least this is for me, and I'll let you guys answer this as well. What do I want to see out of scrimmage number 1? Again, I'm going into it knowing that this is scrimmage number 1. It's just that. I'm not expecting a complete product. Neither should anybody else. I don't think you should expect a winner at the quarterback battle. I don't think you should expect the offensive line being completely revamped, even though we talked a great amount about how excited we are about Adrian Clem taking over that spot. What I'm really, I guess, curious to see is just how they're approaching it, right? What's the intensity like? What's the physicality like, right? Especially with the trenches. Like I said this yesterday, I want to see some good back and forth. I want to see the D-line getting some good work. Definitely want to see them getting after the quarterback. But I also want to see the offensive line. I want to see them open up some lanes, let those running backs pop. And speaking of running backs, I haven't got to see Crowell in a true 11-on-11 setting like that. You know, he was really limited during the spring, and with the practice schedule, haven't been able to hang and see those types of periods. So I want to see where he's at, right? Because a lot of people are putting a lot on the shoulders of the true freshman Crowell. So I want to see that. And, of course, the other backs, right? Because the running back room, a lot of guys have been flashing this fall camp. So I want to see it put all together. Of course, the quarterbacks, we already know that. That's going to be one of the main things that people are looking for, including myself. And then when I flip it over to the other side, linebacker play, I think, stands out a lot. I'm really excited to see Caleb Woodson, Luke Metz, and QB Reese specifically. I want to see how those guys get in there, work together, then how they work together with this defensive line that Kane Womack was just bragging about, with better gap integrity, doing a much better job of being disciplined up front, allowing those backers to free flow to the football and make plays. And when they are arriving at the football, do they have violent intentions? I'm looking at all that stuff. And then last but not least, I mentioned it briefly, but seriously, pass rush, man. As a former edge rusher, man, I want to see that. Yonze, we already know he's taking that next step. My guy, Justin Hill, I want to see it. He's looked great so far during camp. I want to give Zulu a second look. Your guy, former Gamecock. I want to give us. I want to see him in some untrue one-on-one opportunities. I want to see that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about it. About to do that shortly, fellas. Preview scrimmage number 1.
Listen. The bottom line is this: it is scrimmage number 1. One thing I told you pre-show, I said, one thing that I'm concerned. Like I left Starbucks a little bit ago, man, and the temperature's supposed to feel like 110 degrees here in Columbia, South Carolina. Now I know from being in both places that the weather patterns are pretty similar. So the fact that they bumped it back a little bit, that means the temperature is going to be a little bit more warm. Mm-hmm. So I think you got to throw in another equation. And I know Alabama and Jeff Allen and that staff is phenomenal, right? And I know they're going to have guys hydrated and ready to go. But sometimes it doesn't matter how hydrated you are. When you play in this heat, man, cramping, these things become a problem. So for me, what type of condition? Now, they look good, and I like to call it, socks, jocks, and T-shirts, right? They look good, and they tight little shorts, and the thighs hanging out, and the arms look big, and they've been working out through the summer. Great. But what kind of conditioning are you in? And things what coaches look for, too, right? They want to get in this heat a little bit because they're looking for the guy that when they're hot, when they're feeling down, they're sore, they're tired, who can they push? Because what they see in these types of practices, can I be able to count on this guy in game time situation when they're tired, their ankle sore, their back tighten up? Will they still go, or will they want to come on the sideline, get a drink of water, and go there with Jeff Allen, the trainer? So I think you pay attention to that because it's going to be warm down there in Tuscaloosa. Who's got that kind of fight? Because we talked about the leadership, right? This is what I mean. In these types of dire straight situations, hot outside, you've been tired, your first week of practices, now that, you're going hard, full pads, who's going to stand up and who's going to stand out and take that leadership role. So I think that will be something that I hope guys after practice will ask that question to Caleb DeBoer, because I think that's going to be very vital for this football team, is who's going to step up and become the leader of this football team going forward.
Reed, you want to chime in on that as we approach this timeout real quick? And Brandon Clear will be jumping on here. I'm going to throw him up on here, then I'm going to get out the door. What you got for us?
Yeah, no, I think Pastor Corey said it great. I think also with that, it'll also show which players are giving in, right? So if I see a guy that maybe we projected-wise have him on that starting lineup, if he's coming down the line, say, toward the end of the scrimmage, is pretty much giving up, then it's like, hey, if this guy's already given in, what would stop him from giving up, third, fourth quarter? You know what I mean? And also not just him, but really the intensity of the whole team. Like, what's kind of the morale? Because, I just got out from outside, and it's steaming hot. Right? So I'm not blaming them for, it being hot, but it's where that extra push comes in. And then also I think competitiveness, right? Like, I don't want to see one side of the ball, like, strictly dominate, because then that's going to be, let me concerned, because if the pass rush is just instantly getting back there every play, then I'm concerned about the offensive line. But if the pass rush isn't getting there at all, then I'm like, okay, well, the offensive line has improved, but what's going on with the pass rush, right? And then I think with competitiveness, just I don't want to see, like, any fights at all, but, like... You
want to see an edge, though. You want to see a little chippiness here.
Yeah, I want to see, like, okay, this is my man. I'm going to beat him, right? Like, you're my teammate, but I'm going to beat you type deal.
Oh, yeah.
Reed, I'm sorry, bro. I want to see some fight. I want to see guys
controlled aggression, though, because I'm not going to lie to you, because I've seen one of my teammates rip another teammate's helmet off and swing at him and literally give him a concussion. I'm not making that up. I'm not saying any names. And that was at a scrimmage, right, in Bryant-Denny Stadium. They got into it after the whistle. And it was a guy that you didn't really expect that from. Yanked the helmet off, and I think he just reacted, just swung a helmet, hit dude in the head with his own helmet, and dude was out with a concussion. So controlled violence.
Listen,
and aggression.
Somebody got to show the toughness that Alabama needs. They got to get that edge, no pun intended, here. They got to get the edge back of toughness, physicality. We don't quit. We're going to wear you out. You know, I want to see that arguing on the sideline. I want to see things that they used to do, man. That tells me that the game means something. You know, it means more than your Gucci bag or your Louis Vuitton roller going to the airport with your gold chain and your gold mouth. No, I want to see guys, it means something. And when they're arguing and fighting on the sideline amongst each other, control, that tells me that they care. That tells me that they care. So, listen, you got to get out of here, bro.
I'm waiting for you to finish. I'm out the door. Well, all right, we got to hit this timeout. When we come back, hopefully Brandon Clear will be jumping on here any minute now so I can throw him on the screen before I do get out the door. And then I'll be over at the stadium checking out scrimmage number 1. I'll call in the car on the way there. And
drink you some water too, son. Drink you some water.
That's why I'm not rushing. I don't need to waste my energy while they're stretching and doing all that. I'm waiting until it gets rolling. You see what I'm saying?
Don't go strategically. You ain't been in that heat in a long time.
No. I'm in the heat every morning, brother. I'm out active every morning. But don't get me wrong. Now, if I start catching a cramp, I'm going on the sideline and getting the right stuff from Bree. I'm just like I did when I was playing. I'm going to those athletic trainings and give me a Gatorade. The right stuff.
Tablet, please.
Oh, absolutely. Don't trust me. I will jump that gate if I have to. No, I wouldn't have to, but you get the point. All right. We got to hit this time out. We come back. Brandon Clear should be joining us. Pastor Payne holding it down. I'll be at scrimmage number 1, and we'll keep on giving you the latest right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Thursday edition of The Game, we're going to recap Alabama's first scrimmage as we march our way toward East Carolina. The first scrimmage will go a lot and decided many of those competitions. We'll try to provide you the insight. Kalen DeBoer talks following that scrimmage. We'll take that. We'll talk to Rodney Orr, Josh from College Football Nerds, and a lot more starting at 2 p.m. on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest-running sports talk show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. And streaming worldwide on the free Tide app.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Asphalt Restoration, where smooth roads start. Roll Tide. Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel. A specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rental. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
9611.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless advocacy. For guidance you can trust, call 201-317-5115 or visit lamparello-law.com. That's Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. Proud
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation
Across the United States.
and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers and mentors
who are shaping the next generation of legends.
We are here for you.
Aggressively pursuing victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
The best station in the state, breaking down Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Right here on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Corey Miller, the pastor of Payne, hanging out with you. Christian Miller is now on his way over to Bryant-Denny to cover the scrimmage. This is the first scrimmage of the season, so a lot of questions they've been asked and a lot of things people want to see. So won't know about it today, but tomorrow Christian will be able to give you a good update on what he is seeing. So we'll get into that. But until then, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here on the Tide. My man, Brandon Clear. Now, this is really cool right here because if you told me I'll be doing radio with the Clemson Tiger and I'm a South Carolina Gamecock and we talking Alabama football, what in the world is it coming to? It's crazy. Brandon Clear, welcome in, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. Miller's Edge family, thanks for having me once again. Love talking to you on a weekly basis.
Yes, sir, man. I love, chopping it up with you. But let's get right into it. Of course, just like we do, a lot about, the summer and getting ready for the season. Summer practices are tough. You've been waiting for a lot of months since that last game, and Alabama didn't finish well against Indiana. And I know a lot of guys that's returning, they're eager to get back on that football field, eager to show something different now. A lot of changes, especially now with the transfer portal. But after seeing last season, how they ended, and now they're getting ready for the season, what's your thoughts just overall of this football team? What are you looking for to maybe be upgraded or changed with this football team?
That's a great question. So first off, my attention is going to that D-line. I want to see what the length and size, what that does as far as stopping the run. But the aggression is something that was missing last year. And look, James Smith had that. I give him a lot of credit, but it wasn't controlled. I want to see guys that, we call nut tappers. Those people, man, a little dirty. Defensive tackles that have an edge to them. They're able to go ahead and make sure they're using technique, but it's in a controlled way. That's why I think Stephen Booneroy has potential to be a great player because he has power, speed, and also, again, he's molding into something I can see being benefit to really causing havoc from the D-tackle position. So that D-line is something that really has to be there. Devin Tompkins, I want to see what he looks like in a scrimmage. They said he's been dominating in practice. Our O-line is another, I think Christian's going to probably look at the O-line heavily because they're trying to figure out exactly who that starting five is going to be. And they had Racing, basically etched in stone at one point saying he was going to be starting center. And now Waldrop is taking a step further to be able to compete. And he's getting starting reps. So a lot of that first scrimmage is a little bit nerve-wracking for some of these people, man, because it's their first time putting it all together. And some folks shine in practice, but when they get on the game, feel vibe of a practice like a scrimmage, it changes. And so some people don't necessarily step up to the challenge. And it'll be a great opportunity to see how those groups, to me, that are again unknowns in some ways, how are they growing? How are they impacting? How are they making sure they're going to be ready and prepared for the season? Quarterback competition is, to me, open, and I don't think you can go wrong either way. And a lot of the attention is going to be there. But up front is where it starts on both sides. So I think that a lot of people need to go ahead and make sure they've got focus on those offensive and defensive linemen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we talked ad nauseum about that, and I talked a lot about that yesterday. For me, it is about the trenches on both sides of the football, because something that has been Alabama's spinach, like it is to Popeye, right? The things that made them pop was their offensive and their defensive lines. They had the ability to close games out, right? They didn't have to blow people out. But when they got into those conference games and winning by 7, winning by 3, they get the ball, 4-minute offense, which you know a lot about. We're going to line up. We're going to knock guys off the ball. We're going to just continue to get first downs and run the clock. That disappeared. Defensive line, not being able to get off the football field. Coach Womack talked about that the other day. That's one of the problems defensively. They did a lot of good things, but one of the bad things that they did was not being able to get off the football field. So that is a problem. But when you talk about the back end of the defense, let's stay over there for right now. The linebackers may be an issue there too. Got a lot of new guys going to step up and play as far as the inside. Secondary, you got a lot of dudes back there, right? But can this team take that next step? He talked to Coach Saban. They're going to play a little bit more man. They couldn't do it last year, but I think it was because of personnel. They didn't have the right personnel. But when you look at the back end of this defense, do they have enough to take that next step?
So I think they do. And one of the things they have a good problem at is they got the depth. This is going to sound a little controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I feel like it's something that needs to be said. Ivan Taylor is different. His dad played in the league. He works differently. Even when you see him operate in drills, it's different. Keon Sabb needs to be very cautious in how he shows up and not just expecting, since he's a guy that's been there, he's one of the leaders on the team, that you can't be passed up. And that competition is great. I think Bray Hubbard is really in the safeties. He's really the only one that's locked in because we've always seen him show up and he's consistent other than the Florida State game. And so he's going to be taking it up another level this year to make sure he's consistent all the way from the jump. And he's bringing that dog mentality, always causing havoc, turnovers, all those things. But Keon Sabb, he has a lot of young talent behind him that Jaira Edwards is another one that you got to make sure that if you're not executing and I see you come off of a blitz and you don't finish and you don't get the quarterback to the ground, that to me is like, well, let's see how the young guy does it. And if the young guy is consistently doing it, I might have loyalty to you to make sure that, again, from a leadership perspective, you have an impact, you're on that field. But the best players have to play, Preacher. Because if you're not allowing the best players to play, the coaches will lose credibility. And that's a lot of times where you get in these situations where it's loyalty over, these feelings over who's actually going to help the team win. That's when you get in a lot of trouble. And there's nice people in this building, right? So this is not an indictment on it. But the coaches are feeling the pressure. So you can tell they're operating differently. They haven't guaranteed anybody anything. And so as you start seeing how these players adapt to it, man, look, Dijon Lee, I want to see more press coverage. And I think, Christian was talking about this. He said, hey, man, we got the athletes. We need to be able to go ahead and create an opportunity for the D-line and the linebackers to get after it. We got to play press man. All this bail technique is great. And the zone schemes are great because, that is, in turn will create some turnovers and it complicates it in the mind of the quarterback. But I want to see these guys on an island play press man. You got Xavier over there. I think he's a first-round pick, in my opinion, because he has a lot of technique. He's got size, and he's been developing and improving year to year. So now he just has to put it all together and make sure that he's always showing up and just being that dominant force that he can be. So this defensive backfield, man, is going to really help. And I think this D-line is going to benefit from it. But the coaches have to trust that defensive back can actually handle the one-on-one man coverage and just get out of zone, because that'll create opportunities to get after the quarterback.
When I heard Coach Womack mention that, that they wanted to do more of that last year, and then after talking to Coach Saban, I looked at it and I know one thing, right? I know pass rush, pass coverage goes hand in hand. And though you have, traveling corners, guys that can go to anybody on the offensive side, although you have safeties that can get downhill or can cover in the slot. And I think Alabama has those types of guys. But the pass rush was so weak. And if you don't have guys that can get to the QB and make him get rid of the football, I don't care how good you're on the back end, they're going to look bad. So I think they refrained from that and said, you know what, we got the bail, like you talked about the bail technique. We got to play more zone. We got to do more of that because right now we just don't have the dudes up front. And that's what I'm looking forward to hearing about today is, do they have some dudes up there that can get after the quarterback? Because if they do, I think Alabama has one of the best secondaries in all of the SEC. I think they can compete with anybody. Those guys will start for anybody. But up front, man, it's much to be desired. If we're honest, they just don't have those types of dudes, at least last season. So we'll see, because if they do, and they said they're bigger, they're leaner, they're faster up front. So we'll see if they can get pressure. And I don't know if we can see that from our guys right now, because the offensive line we're going to talk about after the break, is going to be another question. So even if the D-line comes out there, and flash, does that really mean we feel good about it right now? Or do we have to wait till the real bullets start in regular season? Hold that thought. We're going to hit a quick timeout. It's 11:45 there in Tuscaloosa. It's 12:45 right here in the metro city of Columbia, about 100 degrees. But I'm in the AC. We're going to keep talking about Alabama and this scrimmage that's happening in about 30 minutes. What do they need to do? What we're looking for them to do? We'll talk about that and more right here on the Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393.
And it's always no work and all play at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casinos. So come on, leave it all behind and head to Pearl River Resort.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy, founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases, known for real care and relentless advocacy.
Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Dangerous heat expected to stay with us here right on into next week. Heat advisory in place. Sunshine, 98 this afternoon. Scorching heat, feeling like 110 with a heat index. Tonight, partly cloudy, sticky, 78. Friday, sunny, even hotter. Highs near 100. Saturday, 101 with sunshine. We hit 102 Sunday and Monday. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 92 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Follow the Crimson Tide on their journey to another national championship. Touchdown, Alabama! On your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Final segment of hour number one, right there, the Miller's Edge Live, 1230 WTBC. The Pastor Payne has the keys today. Can you believe my son, Little Miller, let me drive his ride? Well, he did, and we're going to ride real smooth. Man, I'm riding with my boy on the passenger side, Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver. Now he's just an entrepreneur looking great. We're chopping it up. We're chopping it up, doing our thing. So, B, let me...
So, switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
If I'm able to use T-Satellite now.
That's Christian on the phone with a commercial.
America's best network meets
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, I hear you.
We'll work through it. We'll work through it. That's Christian. You don't understand that he's playing his commercial. So it's not me. It's not me. Reed, did you hear Reed?
Here we go.
All right, there we go. So Christian, okay, now he got it right. So he was playing. He's trying to run some of the practice video. But anyway, you talking about, translating on the football field. It should. and I love the new coaches that they have. We talked about this yesterday, 2 days ago, B, that they got NFL guys coming in and teaching like that. And hear me when I say this. There's guys that didn't play the game that can coach football, okay? And I don't want to be that dude. But you know as well as I do, B, that when you got a dude that's been in those moments, that's been in those dire situations and you know, having to come up with a big catch or having to come up with a big sack or understanding moments, nobody can teach that better than guys that's been there, right? And they have that. And I think this is going to translate for this football team, especially on the offensive line, which is a big question mark, you know, especially when we'll talk quarterbacks in a minute, but if your offensive line ain't right, bro, I don't care who you put back there.
Ain't gonna matter. Coach Clem, hey, he's a mild-mannered guy, but he's real. And, you know, I'm a Patriots fan, so I remember Clem. And, you know, again, he's worked his way through the ranks. He has instant credibility because he's proven it at the highest levels. And so, I was thinking this earlier, too. I was like, man, I really wish they had reached out to T.O. just to bring him on staff to work with the receivers. Not an indictment on Derek Nix. He's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. But it's different. There's a reason why, and look, this is not comparing, it's apples to oranges. Ohio State has embedded their entire program with pros. Ryan Day knows it, right? You know, Matt Patricia coming in, he knows the game, but he also understands what it takes to get to the next level. So when he's giving them things, he's having them run certain schemes, they already having an NFL mindset. Down in Miami, you got a Hall of Famer coaching your D-line, and I'm looking at Ruben Bain and seeing how much he's grown and progressed and how his technique is just on a different level because you over here working with one of the greats. And so that, to me, like you said, it's not an indictment on anyone that hasn't played football. Bill Belichick, again, prime example. You know, there's certain people that are just around the game. They understand it. They may have not played at the highest levels. They may not even played at all, but they understand it. But having someone that's been through the fire and able to work with the person and showing them, hey, these are things I've been through. I've been right there where you've been at, but on another level, the guys will soak in, like they'll sponge it and they'll soak it in. They'll make sure that they're implementing those things. So I agree with you. I was even open. He would even go more heavy on bringing on former either Bama players that played in the league or just NFL, you know, former NFL players, just so those guys could just be around those types of individuals that have been operating at those levels so they can really start to learn what it takes to be great. And that's something I think a lot of people just take for granted because you just, again, at Clemson, you know, Coach Sweeney was my receivers coach, and Coach Sweeney was a successful player at Alabama. He walked on, but he was a key contributor. He did a lot of good things. But if my receiver coach had been Brian Hartline, we would be having a different conversation. He has first round pick, you know what I mean? Like, that guy was a dog, right. And he played at his alma mater. So that's just kind of how I take it, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. A lot of these people have great institutional knowledge, but there's something that, you know, if Pastor, you working with the D-line, man, or linebackers, it's going to be different. And get that energy that just takes to just get that one little bit out of the person that they can't even see. You have that instant credibility. Even how you describe that technique and how you learned from LT and how it transferred. Those players may not have that information and be around and seeing exactly how it was done for someone that did it. So it's just different, man. I respect players. I respect coaches. I respect people that have been a part of the game. But it is different when you're working with former NFL pros and they have this instant credibility and the ones that know what they're talking about. It enhances all facets of the game. So Ohio State has learned it. Miami's doing it, and some other places are doing it as well.
Well, your old school is doing it. Matter of fact, Georgia Tech is doing it. I think they just hired DeAndre Hopkins from the NFL, right, to work with their wide receivers. Clemson just brought in another former player that played in the league, that played there to help. Now, even if you don't get them a true position role, like you just said, if they are around, they can talk to these guys in the weight room, in the dining hall, in the dining room, wherever. They got time to spend and do some teaching when coaches can't do teaching. I know we kind of get close to the top of the hour, but I do want to hear your thoughts on the QB position because that is the million-dollar question. Who's going to be that guy? I said yesterday, I thought it was going to not be the rookie, the freshman, the young guy. I don't see that happening. I think Banks going to be the quarterback, going to be the quarterback. I really do. What's your thoughts?
Man, okay, so you're an outlier. I always say if all things are equal, I go with the younger talent. But you have, that's just me, but you have one thing that is a trump card here, is Mac has been in this system for nearly 4 years. So he's going to know how to call out protections. Yeah, it's just, I agree with you. It's just something, Keelan Russell's not going to be operating at a PhD level in this offense. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. So he has to make up for it with some just natural abilities. So during the scrimmage, the coaches are going to want to see two things. No turnovers. Number one, don't turn the ball over. And number two, a free understanding of where your protections are at, where your scheme is going, and calling plays and getting the attention of all players in respect of the players in the huddle. Those are things that coaches look for. And you win the games from the quarterback position when you have a cool, calm, collected person back there that knows the hell they're talking about. So you might be right, man.
Now, listen, the reason why I said Austin Mack is because I said yesterday he's been around. He knows the system, and though not played entirely a whole football game, knows it, but I just feel good about it. And I like what I saw, the little bit I saw in the last game against Indiana. I did when he had to come in there when Ty Simpson went out. He was poised. He didn't seem worried, scared. During headlights, he didn't have that look. So I do like that, and I think Keelan Russell is a guy that's. I said yesterday that his upside is tremendous, but I don't think he starts the season. I know people are getting paid and he's going to transfer. No, he's not, because it's going to be his job very soon. But I think he starts the season with. I'll take experience, though limited experience. I take that over talent.
And I will never fight you on that, which for me, I typically lean that direction. But at quarterback, I'm like, Bryce Young was just an anomaly just because he was like a computer. I don't know if Keelan is there because I just don't know enough. I haven't heard enough there. But everyone knew that Bryce, the only reason why he wasn't playing when Mac was there, because Mac was the guy that been in the system, knew what he was doing. And it was just, there was not enough there for Bryce to be considered, day one starter. So we might run into a similar issue, a similar situation here where Mac is just like you said, he's been here, he's done that, he knows what's going on, and that guy balls out in a year, and he may have a different trajectory where he might leave after a year and go pro. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but
customizes your car.
It's an opportunity, man.
That's great, but can you?
I think Christian again is on that with his commercials. I don't know what he's trying to control the show from
trying to sabotage.
Yeah, well, we got Adam Lamparello coming up after you, so he's trying to make sure he gets on the set. But Rita, we up against the 12:59. I guess we are, so we got to hit the top of the hour break. Brandon Cliff, former Clemson wide receiver. He is an entrepreneur. He's an amazing brother. Love chopping up with you, man. Blessings to you. Appreciate your time.
Always, Pastor. Appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you later. Nose Edge family, thank you.
Yes, sir, brother. That's Brandon Cliff, former Clemson wide receiver. We'll hit the top of the hour break. We come back. Adam Lamparello. If you need a lawyer, well, he is the guy. His law firm, they're getting it done. We'll speak with him because we're going to talk a little bit about what James Danes is doing, get his thoughts on that. Plus, we'll get his thoughts on today's scrimmage.
I just come here trying to be the same person every day. That was one of my goals coming in here. This next season, just trying to be the same person every day, give 110% effort, and just keep getting better day to day. Yeah.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Brianna Murrow.
The Dodgers have won 3 straight games.
He swings, hits a high drive, left field, way back and gone. Ohtani with an opposite field blast, and the Dodgers lead it 3-2. 27th home run for Shohei Ohtani.
AM 570 LA Sports on the call final score. The Dodgers 4, Royals 2. They got their third straight win. The Twins came back and took down the Orioles 7-5. The Padres walked it off and swept the Brewers 4-3 in extra innings for their fifth straight win. Luis Castillo went 7 innings and had a season-high 10 strikeouts as the White Sox blanked the Reds 5-0. Falcons head coach Kevin Stefanski announced Tua Tagovailoa will start at quarterback in Friday's preseason opener against the Broncos. And the Panthers are signing former Dolphins tight end Darren Waller to a 1-year deal.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website. Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Thursday edition of The Game, we're going to recap Alabama's first scrimmage as we march our way toward East Carolina. The first scrimmage will go a lot in deciding many of those competitions. We'll try to provide you the insight. Kalen DeBoer talks following that scrimmage. We'll take that. We'll talk to Rodney Orr, Josh from College Football Nerds, and a lot more starting at 2 p.m. on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest-running sports talk show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. And streaming worldwide on the free Tide app.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless advocacy. For guidance you can trust, call 201-317-5115 or visit lamparello-law.com. That's Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Proud partner. Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Asphalt Restoration, where smooth roads start. Roll Tide. Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel. A specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611. 9611.
And knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
To the folks down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They like to call it D-Town. For those that don't know, that means Title Town. And they're hoping to get back to that name, Title Town. This is the Miller's Edge. I'm Corey Miller, the pastor of Payne. Driving the wheels, Christian Miller at the scrimmage as we speak. We'd love to hear from you, 205-342-9904. That's the phone number. Dial us up. You got a thought, comment, or opinion, we'd love to hear from you because we're live on YouTube as we're speaking right now. Ton of folks chiming in on there. This is the Tide 100.9, the Miller's Edge. And right now we're joined by a man that always has an edge when it comes to legal work. That's my good friend, Adam Lamparello. He's here. He is a fine young man, and I call him young, but he's a fine lawyer, great friend of the show. Adam, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today.
Thanks so much, Corey. I appreciate it. Great to be here.
Well, Ben, we know that you're a huge, humongous, ginormous Giants fan. And you know I got nothing but love for you because you always bring up those great memories for me. But I want to talk to you before we get to Alabama, the scrimmage, and I want to talk to you about something that's big in college football news right now. Jaden Daniels, who played at Arizona State, transfer. I think he played for Herm Edwards. I think he's the one who recruited him initially. Then he transferred to LSU, won the Heisman, put up some amazing numbers, got drafted in the first round, had a great rookie season, of course, got hurt last year. But now he's sending a cease and desist letter to LSU after Pickett given that number 5 that he has worn. He said that they cannot use his number. They must stop it right away, cease it right away, right? Yeah. And make no more money from that jersey number. Question is, can he do that? Is that legal? And if so, are we going to see other players start to do that?
Well, Jaden Daniels had an amazing career at LSU, and I wish him all the success in the NFL, but he is dead wrong here, in my view. First, I think it's very, quite frankly, immature and somewhat classless to do what he's doing. But apart from that, what he's talking about is the number on a jersey. When you look at name, image, and likeness, it means exactly what it says. You can't profit off of his name, his image, or his likeness. The number 5 on a jersey is not his name, image, or likeness. This is a petty dispute. It's ridiculous. And unless his jersey was retired, which it wasn't, LSU is free to give it to whoever he wants. But the fact that he's making this an issue, to me, is very troubling. And again, another statement about how our young people have gone astray today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, listen, people retired numbers. His number is not. I guess Danger hasn't been retired by the Tigers, so what's the problem? That's my whole point. We talked about this earlier. That hasn't happened. He's a transfer. I don't believe you retired dude's number that transferred into your program. I'm just not a fan. But DJ Pickett wore the number 5, the DB, last year. Now this dude got a problem with it, but I don't see it really. I mean, is it the money or is it your ego? And I'm thinking maybe it's more about the ego than the money, to be honest with you. But I think, again, to me, that's a direct hit on his character. The fact that, come on, bro, you're making millions of dollars. You're in the National Football League. You're starting for the Commanders. Leave it alone. And so I just think, I think it's stupid.
Instead of trying to take money, give some money back to LSU. This is not a situation where LSU is hanging up posters of Jaden Daniels all throughout the stadium. They're not using his name, image, and likeness in any way. He doesn't have a right to have his jersey retired. He will lose this case, and he'll still make millions. But I think it's my opinion of him as a person has changed because of this.
No doubt. All right, well, let's move on to what everybody want to talk about. That's the Tide. The first full week of practice is in the books. Now we're talking about scrimmage number 1, right? We've seen highlights of pre-practice, is what we call it. Guys running around doing little drills, this, that, and the third. But today they will have good on good, I'm sure. There will be some competition at positions. So Christian's at the stadium as we speak. So love to hear what he's going to have to say about what's going on over there, because we can't say everything on air live, but I know he'll tell me for sure what he saw in some of these young guys. Let me ask you, as a big-time Alabama fan, what are you most looking forward to seeing with this Alabama football team after scrimmage number 1?
First, I'm looking at the quarterbacks. When I look back at the quarterbacks we've had, Tua, Jalen, Bryce, Mac Jones, I'm not as confident in both of these quarterbacks as I have been in the past, in part because I'm not sure that they're ready. And I think Keelan Russell has an incredible upside, and Austin Mack has shown some flashes of real talent, but are they ready to handle an SEC defense? Are they going to be ready against Georgia? Second thing I'm looking for, running backs. I know we have depth at running back, but are we going to be able to run the ball better than we were last year? And are we going to be more physical on the offensive line? And the last thing is the defensive line. I want to see more physicality in the trenches. And that, I think, is going to make the difference in what will be some very close games this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think, that's everybody's sentiment. We just had Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver, on with us. Same thing. Trenches was the number one thing. What's going to happen in the trench? Are they going to be more physical? Are they going to make people quit? Can they get first downs on those 3rd and 2s? Can they stop people when it's 3rd and 1 to get off the football field? And I think they're allowing people, Adam, at the scrimmage today. Of course, people are going to be tweeting, and I got people that I'm just seeing stuff that said the defense looks very good, fast, aggressive, flying around. Right now, the offense is struggling. This is not from Christian. This is for people that's posting stuff that probably shouldn't be. But I'm not shocked by that, because anytime when you go into, summer practice, the defense is always going to be far ahead of the offense. Offense is about rhythm. It's about time. It's going to take time. Guys got to get used to playing with one another, whereas defensively, you can line up guys and be like, give me 11 guys that can run, and I'm going to be doing some stunting, some blitzing, some zone dogs. I'm going to give that offensive line some trouble, which I expect them to struggle today. And it seems like that's probably what's going on right now. But if this offensive line can't get it right, you got 2 highly talented quarterbacks in Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. I think Mack's going to be the quarterback to start the season. But I think it's still based on this offensive line, if they're good enough to protect whomever is behind the center.
Yeah, if they don't protect, it's not really going to matter, in my opinion, who's under center. I think Mack is going to be the starter. I'm not sure if Mack is going to stay the starter for the entire season, though. I think Keelan probably has the higher potential, but I think Mack at this point probably doesn't. He doesn't risk the same level of turnover. I think he's going to manage the offense better at this point, but I don't think he's going to be. It's going to be a competition throughout. And if Mack falters, I think Keelan's going to come in. But I'll go back to those New York Giants in the early 90s, mid 90s. Those defenses were physical. I was there in the freezing cold weather. It was like 20 degrees against the physical and tough. I want to see that from Alabama, because the Indiana game and the Georgia SEC championship left a horrible taste in my mouth,
Yeah, well, I said this, Adam, a couple of days ago, that last game is the memory that you have. No matter how many good things you have done, it's that last game that everybody remembers. It is. And so they got to get past it. I know as a player, when you lose like that, you cannot wait, brother. You cannot wait to get back on the field to be able to display something differently. And I think this is where this team is. Listen, on paper, I said Alabama's an 8-4, 9-3 team. Nobody knows. But I know what they have to get done to be able to beat Georgia consistently, to be able to beat a playoff team. They got to get better in the trenches. Now, they got to be able to run the football. Let's talk about this, because this is a huge thing.
Yeah.
If you can't run the football, and I don't have the stats in front of me, what they were in the SEC or what they were in the country, I know it was bad. That I do know. That was bad, and I know that they could not run the football. They had to use jet sweeps. They'll bring Ryan Williams on motion, hand him the ball. They'll do little pop passes, to create runs. And that's okay, because those are considered running plays, especially when you're trying to attack the perimeter of a defense. But they got to find a way. Christian talked a little bit about this before he left to go to the scrimmage, about these running backs. They have capable players back there.
Yeah.
But they got to be able to run the football. Now, here's the other thing before I let you speak on this, Adam. If you're not a physical, man-to-man blocking football team, then you better get guys in there that's athletic, that can pull, right, that can move, that can just become a zone blocking football team. And if you got backs that got good vision, that know how to cut back and know how to read linebackers, that over pursue, then do that. So this is where I think coaching and Ryan Grubb has to do a better job of saying, okay, this is who my guys are. This is who they are, excuse me. It sounds like I'm a favorite. This is who they are. And this is what we have to do as an offense, right, to do things a little different so that we can create runs. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, when I watched the Indiana game last year and it was fourth down, it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. They ran a cute little play with, I think it was Jeremy Bernard, where he ran towards the perimeter or towards the edge. Now, I want to tell the players, I want you to beat your guy, and I want to run straight up the middle, and I want to win playing tough physical football. No cute stuff. Some simple things. You got to beat your guy, and you got to be more physical and be a badass. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him get that fourth down, run some sweep or whatever it is they run. No, that's not Alabama. Knock them on their ass, punch them in the mouth.
Well, it's been the mantra. It's been out. But, I hate to keep talking Nick Saban, but that's what I know, right? Even before my son went to Alabama, I saw 2010. I saw when they had the Trent Richardsons back in the back. I saw them have big physical offensive linemen that they leaned on people, right? That they got after people. And Alabama got to find that. And so to me, though, that's why I said it takes players, right? It takes players. Somebody's got to step up and open up their mouths and say, this is my football team. And we're not going to allow this lackadaisical, methodical body language. We get back to who we used to be. And the problem is nobody is afraid of Alabama anymore. They used to can roll out that script A helmet with the number or whatever, with the numbers on the side, roll it out when they play on a team, and teams are shaking in their boots. They're shaking like the Israelites were shaking before they got a chance to fight Goliath. But David wasn't. David didn't even need any kind of armor. Alabama got to get back to the David mindset and say, man, I don't need no armor. I don't care what my jersey says. We're gonna make you quit. We're gonna punch you in the mouth. We're going to finish the plays. We're going to finish runs. And we're going to play with an attitude that's going to be borderline on the edge. And I think that's what you got to get to.
Oh, absolutely. And this, when you look at elite athletes in college football, yeah, you may have the size and the strength, but there's something else. It's those intangibles. It's the personality of the player. It's their mindset. Are they killers? Are they the Mike Tysons? Or not. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who are hungry, who are pissed off, and who look at that game at Indiana as an embarrassment. And this year, we're going to get back to the Alabama standard. And I hope Coach DeBoer, who's an excellent coach, I'm sure he knows that. And I have confidence in him that he's been emphasizing that. At least I hope so.
Ray, let's take a quick time out so we can stay on schedule here. And Chad, I'm hollering at you. This is your boy, the pastor of pain. I'm driving this Ferrari today. Yeah. We ride, and we riding fast, right? We ain't just cruising. We're going to ride fast. I want to hear from you, chat. Adam Lamparello's my guest right now. Your thoughts and comments. They're hot and heavy in the scrimmage right now. Again, somebody to the defenses, they're flying. If you're a defensive guy, you're probably happy. If you're an offensive guy, maybe you're not. That's what folks are saying. Not Christian, but that's what folks are saying. So I don't know. I'm not there, but I can't wait to talk about it on tomorrow with Christian. Sit tight. You're on the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We'll take some calls later on. You're on the chat on YouTube Live or X, whatever you're on. Send in your comments, your thoughts, your questions. We'll discuss those. We got all that and more coming up right on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230.
Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Tuscaloosa's destination for iconic Jeeps. Owner loyalty earns $1,500 cash back on a new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are shaping
entree purchase. Plus, check out the new Big Game Headquarters menu featuring the affordable All-Stars. The Hillcrest Huddle at Bomb Hours, Tuesdays on Tide 100.9 FM.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation...
For a free confidential consultation, 800-505-4326, 800-505-4326, 800-505-4326.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Dangerous heat expected to stay with us here right on into next week. Heat advisory in place. Sunshine, 98 this afternoon. Scorching heat, feeling like 110 with a heat index. Tonight, partly cloudy, sticky, 78. Friday, sunny, even hotter. Highs near 100. Saturday, 101 with sunshine. We hit 102 Sunday and Monday. Richard Wedding of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 95 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the Miller's Edge. 12:23 is the time. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Corey Miller, pastor of Payne, alongside Adam Lamparello, hanging out here with you. And all my great folks in the chat, welcome. Make sure you, as we say in Payson, okay? I know this is not correct English. Mash that button. I know somebody say smash. We say mash. Hey, can you mash that button? You go to the elevator. Can you mash number 3? Like, what about press or push? No, that's not in the Payson lingo. It's mash. Well, mash that like button. So we want to get that subscriber game up. We're over 5,000. We want to keep that thing growing. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program if you'd like to chime in. Scrimmage number 1 is going on as we speak. Christian Miller, the driver of this show, is at practice. Cannot wait to hear his thoughts and comments about what he is saying. Now, Adam, it's scrimmage number 1, right? There's no need to get overexcited if one side of the ball or the other is doing great. You know, it's scrimmage number 1. They are still learning. They're still growing. They're still trying to figure things out positionally, who goes here. Maybe this guy, we thought he'd be a safety. Maybe he can play corner, or maybe this guy's that running back. Maybe we can use him as a U, which means an off-the-ball type. But they still trying to put all these pieces together. So I think as a fan base, you don't get too high or too low based on what you're going to hear from Coach Kalen DeBoer after this scrimmage, right? He ain't going to say too much anyway, but I can tell you this already. I will promise you that the defense is probably crushing right now. Because the defense, I love it. It's easy. I hate to say it that way. Playing defense was easy, man. I'm just going to go smash people. I'm going to try to put people to sleep. I got to be in my run lane, right? I got to make sure my fits are good. I'm going to dominate the tight end at Sam linebacker. He ain't going to block me. You know, if they're going to try to come and pull, you can't do this now. Well, you know, those OF off tackle plays, I'm going to cut them. I'm taking their legs out. I mean, that's just how we played. I knew that was going to, defensively, I can bet you right now is crushing. I can bet you that right now. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked, Adam, because everybody's going to look at quarterbacks, right? And how is Ryan Grubb calling the plays? How's he doing? You know, what does the offense look like? And I probably bet you that Austin Mack was the guy with the first team. He's going to have to beat Keelan Russell out and prove that he deserves that. Now, I think he will, but this is just, you know, this is the first test, right? You know, like in college, they give you a little pre-test, right, to get you ready for the exam. So this is the pre-test for him, but I think it's not going to be a good day. I think the defense, Adam, is going to be so much further ahead than the offense.
Oh, I hope so. I really do. What I want to see is the defense getting pressure on the quarterback and just causing all kinds of chaos. And I want to see them stopping third downs. One of the things Bama, I thought, struggled with was third downs. They gave up a lot of conversions, but I want to see them physical and causing havoc in the backfield. You know, it's I want, you know what they should do? They should show a video of when Randall Cunningham was sitting up there and you came through, pop, down he went, and that's
yeah, no doubt about it. So let's take some comments from the chat right here. So I don't expect the O-line to struggle today. You don't expect them to struggle? I do. I think they're going to struggle bad today. I really do. I think the offensive line is not going to be a good day. I think there might be guys that have some moments, but I think overall, because, and I said this earlier, Adam, that offensive line is that one position group that takes a little bit longer. And if you're a defensive lineman, you know where you're going. You know, you're going to be running some stunts. You're going to be doing some blitzes. I mean, if they open up the playbook, and sometimes they don't allow them to do that. You know, don't throw the kitchen sink at the guys because they just want to see them, you know, a little bit here and there. But I think the offensive line will struggle today. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. One question I've always had, since I'm not an expert, what is so difficult for the offensive line? Is it the mastering zone blocking and pass block? Is it dealing with stunts, being on the same page? What makes it so difficult for them to gel as a unit?
Well, one is just because offense is based on timing and rhythm. You know, kind of like a golf swing, man. It's the timing and rhythm is everything. And when you play offensive line, it's about concert. You know, the center needs to communicate well with the guards, you know, who got who, especially on combo blocks, you know, getting that guy going, that tackle moving a little bit, then that next guy comes off so he can get up to the next level and take on that linebacker. You know, how they passing off, you know, because the defensive line are running stunts and twist, right? And so all of that just takes a little bit of time. Every coach would tell you, NFL, high school, college, if you the offensive line, it's just going to take a little bit of time. The offense, the cadence, getting used to the sound of the quarterback, all this stuff go hand in hand. So it's just a tough. You can't just go out there and run. You know, like a defensive end, just like, hey, it's 3rd and 15. I'm getting that football, bro. I'm getting off, right? I'm getting off, and I'm going to work this tackle. Offensive line just totally different. I got to make sure we're doing the right things and what's called. You know, we zone here, zone blocking. Is this a man block here, or you know, are we fanning to one side based on the defense? You know, are we fanning to the left? Are we fanning to the right? You know, so all of these things can make a huge difference. The grit and toughness is gone as long as this Pac-12 group is setting the culture. Hard stop. So he's saying basically, you know, that they're bringing this culture of Pac-12 here to the SEC, and that's not going to work. But we kind of agree with that, don't you think?
Yeah, that was my concern. I think Kalen DeBoer is an outstanding coach, no question about that. I have tremendous respect for him. But my concern has always been, is the fit the right fit? And what I think we're going to hear from the scrimmage today, my prediction is going to be that Mac and Russell were under duress all day, and that no quarterback came out of this separating himself, because that defensive line and the linebackers, I think, are going to feast on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough day, I think, for the offense. But I'm just saying to the folks out here, don't fret, don't panic. No need to panic. It's the first scrimmage, and the players are going to be geeked up. I talked about it's hot. I know it's 100. They said it feels like 110 degrees here in Columbia, right? So it's hot. So, you know, there are going to be some issues. Guys really because you've been going through the motions. You've been doing pre-practice, drill work. Now you're finally getting into a kind of game-like situation, so things could be hard. Adam Lamparello, won't you tell the good folks, how they can use you? Just help me with my phenomenal book that's going to help me become a future best-selling author. Someone gave me this for a present. You helped me make sure I got all my legality things right, so I appreciate you. So tell the folks how you can help them here in Tideville. So
yeah, and that book is going to be awesome. I can't wait to get it. Yeah, so if you're looking for an attorney or someone to help you with college application essays, graduate school, come visit us at lamparello-law.com. But if you want free legal advice, come check out our YouTube channel at Lamparello Law. Give you free legal advice and hope it's helpful for you.
As always, my friend, blessings to you. I appreciate you. Enjoy that nice cigar.
Thanks so much. Great seeing you. As always, roll
Get you a V cut, man. A V cut is the best draw.
Okay, we'll do. Thanks, man. Take care.
See you, Adam. That's Adam Lamparello, Lamparello Law Firm. Quick time out. We'll come back. We'll continue to talk about the scrimmage that's happening as we speak. You want to chime in on the phone? You listen to us on your dial in the car. Give us a call, 205-342-9904. This is the Miller's Edge right here on time.
You'll endure for years to come. Check out our collection of officially licensed Alabama jewelry in store or online at hudsonpool.com. And roll Tide.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless
of the Crimson Tide. Sold in stadium and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are
shaded muscle enzymes. To learn more about Journavx, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit journavx.com.
Catch every game and every moment right here. This is your home of Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the Miller's Edge, right on the Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Corey Miller, the pastor, Payne, rocking and rolling with my man Reed behind the glass. You know, Reed, what kind of hair gel you use? Because I like it, man. I might have to get me some.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Corey, because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday I was looking back, about 3 or 4 years ago of what my hair looked like then. And it was a lot better than it was now. Growing up, I had really flat hair, and so I used gel so much that it just naturally turned into this.
Well, that's good, man. I was going to call you Pat Riley. Pat Riley had that nice gel, man, slick back look. Pat Riley was the dude, man. He was the dude. So I like it. I don't have any hair. I'm actually going to go to the barbershop in a little bit and get this thing trimmed up, looking nice, and get that little buzzer on my head. I love when they put the warm towels because I get a straight razor and they put that little buff on there that like a spit shine, man. Your boy be looking tight, man. Your boy, come on. You spit in your hand, but it pop, pop, pop.
Corey, I was going to say, I was looking through the chat and there was a question that Smitty asked earlier that I'm kind of curious on your answer. He said, question, gentlemen, do you guys believe a sneaky benefit of Alabama being young and those young guys are hungry and looking to take spots?
I like that. Smitty. Listen, I think it boils down to the right kind of guy, right? I mean, young, yes, but are they hungry? Are they motivated, to go out there and take a job? And, youth can be a good thing when you're young and when you got the right mindset. I think it could definitely help you because a lot of times young guys don't really get into that thinking, right? They just go out and play, right? Coaches to tell you, hey, man, don't worry about making a mistake. Just go knock somebody out. Get to the football. Make a play. And I think that when you got that mentality, that helps. And I wish and I hope to get to know some of these guys. I will be in Tuscaloosa numerous times during the course of the football season. Don't I get a chance to meet guys. It was better when Jamie was here because Jamie was Christian's neighbor, and guys would come by the house. I was able to talk to guys and build relationships there. That was always cool. But I know he's at Stanford right now. But, yeah, I think being young can make a difference. But I'm old school. I love Reed. I love experience. And I think, and I said this earlier, Indiana won the Natty last year. with a roster of 3 stars that transfers from James Madison U. Alabama's been stockpiling 5 and 4 stars for decades. Shouldn't it be easier for them to get back in that natty lane and win another one? If Indiana, who have done nothing, okay, if Indiana can win a national championship and run through the Big Ten like diarrhea, and run through the college football playoff teams, the Oregons, the Alabama Blue Bloods, right? They did that. They did a thing. If Indiana can do this, isn't this somewhat likely that Alabama can get back in that conversation a lot faster?
I think so. I think about, and I was going to ask you this as kind of like a follow-up, at least regarding those starting positions is, all right, would you say that both effort and hunger, right, for a starting spot, do you think that topples experience, or does experience topple hunger and effort?
I think experience topples. It just does, man. I mean, I every program that I've been around, and I'm going to talk about the pros, because when you had an experienced football team, right, and then they draft younger guy that's probably better, right, more talented, they're not going to play right away. Like the quarterback position. There's quarterbacks that got drafted that was more talented than the incumbents, but they weren't going to play because the guy had game time experience. When you're young, man, you just don't know. I mean, Gary Reeves is our linebacker, and Christian talks about this with just a Luke Kuechly who just got put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, how smart he was. Like, Gary Reeves was my Luke Kuechly with the Giants. The guy knew everything. He could anticipate play. Now, if you go watch practice and you saw Gary Reeves do drills and you saw me doing drills, it wasn't even close when it came to, ability and talent. But on the football field, he was a coach. And because he anticipated plays, it made him play the game so much faster. And he was telling everybody else, check this, toss sweep coming, or they motion, or they the tight end change, or whatever. He was able to let all these things out, and he will beat guys to the spots. And so that's experience. And so when you got guys that can play and know the game to that level, man, you're going to be a much better football team. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's kind of also like just not only experience, but on top of that, like IQ of the game, just knowing and having, which kind of relates into that experience part of just having those reps so you understand, okay, if I do make a mistake here, I can fix it, right? And so you just continue to build on that. And that's how Luke Kuechly was just so beyond his years, is because he just strictly was in the lab looking at film and just knew it even before. Like, it's so crazy to look back now to see how he would call out the play before it even happened,
Yeah, I mean, and that's, and I always allude to this point, right? Watching film is so critical for an athlete, because knowing what to do and having that ability to anticipate is key to becoming a great football player. And I always equate this when I'm working with my men at church or my men's groups about why you have to read the Bible, why you can't just go to church on Sunday and then go home and think your life's going to change Monday through Saturday if you're not reading the Bible, if you're not watching the game film, if you don't understand the tape, so to speak, the tape of life. How you expect to have great success in life if you don't understand the tape, right? Same concept. Like, guys got to know what to do. And so that's why experienced teams win, right? I look at, here's another great example, Reed. The University of South Carolina Gamecock women's basketball team, extremely talented last year, right? Beat UConn, got to the national championship, and they took on a team by the name of UCLA. 6 seniors that have been around for a long time in that program. They ran through South Carolina like diarrhea, right? They beat the mess out of them. I don't know if you watched that game. And it wasn't because they were more talented. It's because they had this great experience. These girls, young ladies that has been around this program and has done so many great things. And so that's why experience matters greatly. Now, Alabama is very young, and very talented. But guys like Ryan Williams, Bray Hubbard, guys that have been around this program, Keon Saab, these guys got to step up. Who's the leader on the offensive line? Who's the leader on that defensive line? These guys got to step up, man, and open up their mouths and also lead by example. Like, they got to find these guys. And when I looked at Alabama last 2 years, I just saw guys that it seemed as though, Reed, that the game didn't matter, right? Like, they had guys before, the Reuben Fosters of the world, the Ronnie Harrison of the world, that they had these dudes, Quentin Williams, and these guys got mad. Like, if they got dominated or somebody gave up a big play, they went over the players took it on themselves to get the other players' face. The coach didn't have to do it because it mattered. Football has to matter. You have to love this game, man. It's a hard game. It's a tough game, folks, and it has to matter. And I know when you talk about a team sport and football, you got to have some dudes. You got to have some mentalities there that's, okay, yeah, this guy's, he's on the edge, but you got to have somebody on that can coach, that can relate, that can speak, that can calm them down, that can encourage. You got to have that, but you need some dudes on the edge, and they care about it. I just feel like because of NIL, because of transfer portal, guys getting all this cheddar in their pockets today, that the game in itself just don't matter. They used to care about losing. Reed, I just don't see that happening as much right now. I mean, you may see it differently.
Yeah, no, I can fully understand where you're coming from. And to go back to your point about the youthfulness of this team too, right? Like, I know Christian talks about it a good bit, especially on the offensive line. One of our groups that I feel like was lacking, especially last season, for a guy like Michael Carroll to more than likely be the leader on the offensive line, and he's only a true sophomore. I kind of find that a little bit concerning in that sense. Like, kind of like to your point, you want to have, of course, you want to have experience in those seniors, right? But with this season coming up, a lot of our guys are returning, but they're returning as, freshmen, sophomores, right? So I think I'm getting to your point where you were saying, do you think then with a lot of this youthfulness of this team, like I said, the Michael Carroll, true sophomore, being a leader on this offensive line, do you think that could be one of Alabama's biggest weaknesses this season?
I do. I think you're spot on with that, Reed. I think it is. I think it's this sidebar might be a hard day speaking of offensive line, but yeah, offensive line, you need leadership. You need guys that's been around, and you remember a couple of years ago, maybe you weren't around, but when I just remember the SEC media days. I forget the guy's name. I'm drawing a blank, and they were talking about how they're going to make people quit, and he ended up getting drafted by the Raiders, but first round, and then they didn't do any of that. And these were older guys. And then you watch the tape, you watch the game, and you're like, man, there ain't no leadership there. And I like Michael Carroll. I think he's extremely talented. But is he the kind of dude that's going to rise up and be that vocal leader? Because I do think they need a vocal leader on that offensive line. And so we'll see. I can't wait to hear what Christian Miller has to say about this offensive line. I'm just going to go in my prophetic mode right now. I think we're going to hear about how they struggled. I think we're going to hear about how they struggled massively today. One, just because it takes a while to get the synergy to become that perfect concert for the offensive line. It's just going to take a little bit. And as far as defense, they should look good. But by that second or last scrimmage, things should flip. There'll be some changes. They'll do some, they got some real film now that they can break down and change some things. So don't worry, don't fret, don't panic if the offense don't look the way you think or you hear Coach say it this afternoon. I'm sure you're going to catch that right here on the Tide on some of the shows this afternoon. So looking forward to hear. We're going to hit a quick timeout. 205-342-9904 is the number. If you want to dial in, we'll come back. We'll finish up this show. Final segment. Yes. I parked the car in the garage, man. Get out this heat. This is the Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9.
It's a call at 205-339-6540 or visit us at adamsvcs.com. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are shaping the next generation.
Credit. If you've got a job and a dime, you ride. Stick with Tuscaloosa, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Tuscaloosa, CDJR.com.
Plus tax and tag, visit Tuscaloosa, CDJR.com.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Thursday edition of The Game, we're going to recap Alabama's first scrimmage as we march our way toward East Carolina. The first scrimmage will go a lot in deciding many of those competitions. We'll try to provide you the inside. Kalen DeBoer talks following that scrimmage. We'll take that. We'll talk to Rodney Orr, Josh from College Football Nerds, and a lot more starting at 2 p.m. on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest-running sports talk show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. And streaming worldwide on the free Tide app. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Dangerous heat expected to stay with us here right on into next week. Heat advisory in place. Sunshine, 98 this afternoon. Scorching heat, feeling like 110 with a heat index. Tonight, partly cloudy, sticky 78. Friday, sunny, even hotter. Highs near 100. Saturday, 101 with sunshine. We hit 102 Sunday and Monday. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 95 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
One last segment here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC, Corey Miller, the pastor of Payne, hanging out here with you on the program today. Christian Miller is at the scrimmage number 1. As we are speaking, Chad asked, is DeBoer speaking today? I'm not sure, but normally they have some type of somebody's probably going to speak. There should be some comments from somewhere. I don't know. Ray, do you know if DeBoer's speaking after practice?
I was going to say, yeah. I think, I believe right after the scrimmage, because me and Christian were talking about it yesterday. We didn't know whether he spoke yesterday, and so I'm going to assume after the scrimmage today. And so, yeah, Corey, we'll probably get out around here around 12:58.
12:58. That gives us 5 minutes before we get up out of here. Well, you know, Reed, I'm looking forward to see what he has to say. Now, if it was bad, you're not going to hear that. But there are people there witnessing this scrimmage now. And, you know, they may not, and I'm sure you're going to see a video of something somewhere. Something's going to come up. You know it's going to happen. You know somebody's going to get on their platform and say something. So you're going to know something, right? But I don't expect Kalen DeBoer to be overly critical of any group. Regardless of what the situation is, I think they're just going to be excited that they have some film, 1-on-1, 11-on-11, I should say, of this team that they can now go into the film room, that they can teach, right? They got teaching tape that they can help. I would say the next scrimmage is the most important scrimmage.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to say scrimmage. Number 1 scrimmage don't really move me too much, good or bad, right? That second scrimmage tells me a lot because now you're getting closer to the season and you don't have much of that camp mindset anymore. You got to start figuring out, well, who's going to be my starting guard, right? Who's going to be my starting edge? Who's going to do this or that? Who's going to be my starting quarterback so I can start game planning? So that second scrimmage to me is going to tell everything, Reed, where this football team is. And the fact that I keep saying this a lot, but the offense is just not going to be good today. It's just not going to happen. And I can say that with confidence that the offense, the quarterback, I bet, and I hope he says that, but it's because it just takes a little bit more time. Every scrimmage that I've covered, every one that I've played in, the defense always first scrimmage dominates. Point blank.
Yeah, and I think that's also kind of the case in most instances during the season, too. Like, I feel like during the start of the season, defenses more than likely should be better while the offenses find the rhythm and then toward the end of the stretch get progressively better.
100%. I mean, and that's what you're going to see. Now, you know, the only way that's different if they're playing a much lesser opponent to where they can just dominate and, you know, and sometimes that messes fans up because now their expectations become so high, and you know, you played Eastern Illinois, you know, it's like, dude, they were terrible. Like, they couldn't stop me. You know what I mean? It's like, don't think of them too high. So if you're Alabama, you just got to be patient. Patient to the point of let the coach figure out who is going to be his trigger man. That's number one. Who's going to be the guy that's hearing your voice in the helmet and calling the plays for this offense. Figure out who's going to be the guy that, because defense, they're going to probably have 4 or 5 guys rushing the passer that we're going to be new guys. Zulu from South Carolina is a guy that only had 1.5 sacks here, but I see him up close and personal at practice. I've been on the sidelines. I've been over there in the defensive line when they come off the field. I mean, this guy has potential. And sometimes when you get a change of scenery as a player, it helps elevate your game. And they need him. They need him to be in the rotation. He played behind Dylan Stewart. Dylan Stewart here at South Carolina is a preseason All-American. I don't think Dylan Stewart is that like what people think. They're talking about his potential. Now, he hasn't played like it, in my opinion, but he got crazy talent. So Zulu could be a good player. You know, Pierre's a good player. I mean, so that second scrimmage stuff. Now, I'll wait to hear what Christian's going to tell me after the show when he calls. He's going to call. We're going to talk. You know, he's going to tell me the real, right? He ain't going to tell you the real, just because I understand why he can't. I mean, he's on the network and all that good stuff, so you got to respect that. But when he talks, and you can believe what he says, and he knows how to say it in a way that he's not giving it away. But if you're smart, like I know I chat, you're very smart people. You can read in the tea leaves. All right, let's do a couple of chat before we get out here. Alabama Post said it right. Let me put it up there on the screen. Let me put it up there. If you haven't hit that like, hit it. Mash it. Let's talk some pace and mash that button, will you? We love to get this number up to 10,000 during the season, right? We're going to grow this thing. We got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good film breakdown. You know, I'm a roll when I see the team play live against other teams. That's where I'm going to be at my best. But prepare to have the pass on here a lot more often. And we're going to have a good time. We're also going to do some secondary YouTube lives. So we're going to break down some things after the game like we used to do. I love enjoying that. So real time, real breakdown. So we got all that coming for you. Reed, I appreciate you, brother, putting up with the old man, the old school.
No, absolutely, man. You did great.
Thank you, brother. Christian thought I was going to come in here driving like I'm driving an old Pinto or my old Maverick like I used to have, my Grand Torino. That's a Maserati. I got one of them in the garage. Don't tell nobody I do. I got a drop top Mazda in my garage. Reed, don't tell nobody, though. Don't tell nobody. But we do that. That's how we roll. God bless you all, man. Thank you for being patient with an old school dude like me, the Pastor Payne. This has been the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Can't wait to talk to Christian Miller tomorrow as we'll break down scrimmage number 1. Until then, may the Lord bless you, heaven keep you, and smile on you.